feel quite hungry.
There's work to be done.
That shouldn't take too long. Come along with me and we'll take a look at the site.
We're gonna build here?
Yes. Shall we get started?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. All good. We can start construction.
I've decided what to build.
You've decided? Good. Let's get building.
We're gonna build here?
Indeed. Can we begin?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. We've got what we need. Let's get to work.
Yeah. Marius, there's work to be done.
That shouldn't take too long. Come along with me and we'll take a look at the site.
Oh, God damn it, my stomach hurts. Yeah. We're gonna build here?
Yes. Shall we get started?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. All good. We can start construction.
Could you explain something to me? How do operating costs work?
Those are the workers' wages. Costs of material and equipment for tradesmen and so on.
And what if I don't have enough coin?
Then production will grind to a halt. Watch out for that. Folks soon get grouchy if they're not getting paid. The amount needed each day is recorded in the accounts ledger too. So you should keep enough in the trunk to cover the wages.
And how do I pay the workers?
Don't concern yourself about that. I'll take care of it. as long as you provide the coin.
So I could put enough money there for, say, 3 days in advance?
Indeed. Simple enough, isn't it?
All right, thanks. How do the accounts work?
The most important thing is to know how much profit your buildings generate and what they cost to operate. That's written on the very first page of the ledger, which will be kept at the Rat House. Whenever we erect a new building, I record it there. And you'll find all the profit generated by the village in the trunk next to the ledger.
And what if we spend more than we earn?
Then you'll have to put the amount necessary for covering the operating costs into the trunk.
I see. Probably best to have a little extra there for a rainy day then. How do I build houses?
First, find out how much it'll cost, and whether the upkeep won't ruin you. You can check it all there, or just come and see.
Sure. What are my duties as bailiff?
As bailiff, you must see to it that the village grows and prospers. You'll have to resolve disputes between citizens, and decide what I should have built. The coin for it will come from your own purse. Basically, you'll have to keep the whole locality under control, but you can't just do whatever you like. You're still answerable to Sedivish, as am I.
Which means...
Which means that if the folk here are unhappy, word will soon get to Sedivish, and he'll put you in your place. So you'd better see to it that there's no thieving, and folk have jobs to do, and their wages are paid.
Of course. I'll keep a close eye on things. How can I get new people to come to the village?
Don't worry about that. Folk will gradually turn up of their own accord when there are houses for them. Each building can house a certain number of people. The bigger the house, the more inhabitants. And the more space you have for them, the more country folk will come here in search of a better livelihood.
What about tradesmen?
I can find you fairly competent ones. But if you can get really skilled artisans, it will certainly be a boon for the village income. Although it's not all that easy to get skilled people. You could ask around.
I see. Any suggestions?
You could try asking the two Sasau armorers for a start. They're always at each other's throats, so maybe one of them could work here. But don't forget to get a forge and armory workshop set up for him. Otherwise you'll only be wasting his time.
Right. I'll go and have a word with them later. I must give some thought to who else would come in handy here. Thanks. How can I improve the buildings?
The process is exactly the same as for building from the ground up. We need to have enough coin, materials, and of course, something to improve. It goes without saying that there's no point in better blacksmith's equipment if you've no forge to put it in.
Well, I can't argue with that. But why bother with improvements at all?
Because they make it possible to produce better goods that can be sold at a higher price, so we'll earn more money.
Nothing, actually. I want to build something.
Certainly.
I'd rather not build.
There's another unpleasant matter for you to handle.
Nothing too terrible, I hope.
That's for you to decide, Master Bailiff. As you know, the woods and everything in them belong to our liege lord. He gave you the right to make use of them. But as far as I know, no one else is allowed to hunt there.
Let me guess. Some of our fold are putting game on their tables from our woods, and I have to deal with them.
Just so. A case like this ought to be judged by his lordship himself, but I fear Sir Divish might be a little too strict in this matter.
So what are my options?
You can hand the poachers over to justice, let them off with a warning, or, of course, one can always turn a blind eye and leave it in the hands of God. What's your decision?
We'll confiscate the poached game and put the fear of God into the culprit so they don't do it again. No point in carrying it any higher. We should keep our own affairs in order.
A wise decision, Henry. I'll see to it.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. There's work to be done.
Come along with me then, and we'll start building.
We're gonna build here?
Indeed. Can we begin?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. We've got what we need. Let's get to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I must reward you for saving my livelihood. If folk believed the stories, well, I dread to think how it could have ended up.
But the bad stone wasn't even from your quarry.
Still, sometimes words can hurt a man more than a blow from a mace. Here's your reward. You've earned it, lad.
I'm here at the behest of Sir Divish. I'm looking for the overseer of this quarry. Would that be you, Goodman?
Aye, that's me. What can I do for you?
Sir Divish has decided to rebuild Pribyslavitz, and he's entrusted me to take charge, along with his locator.
Aha, so it's you. I heard about Sir Divish's plans. What is it you need, then?
Well, we've started with the reconstruction work, but we need more than just timber.
You need stone for the construction?
Exactly. And for repairing the church.
Well now, you're really not doing things by halves, are you? The thing is, though, we're already working flat out supplying stone for the monastery construction in Sasau. I can't cut back on their supplies. Sir Divish wouldn't be at all pleased.
But I really need that stone.
Well, I suppose I could try and hire a few more quarrymen to increase production. But we can't transport it. Even Sasau sends their own wagon here. Have you got someone to carry the stone?
I've got my own merchant. He'll take care of it with his hired hands.
Splendid! So let's talk about the price.
The stone is for Sir Divish. It's for a village he wants to rebuild as quickly as possible. I doubt he'd take it well that the overseer of his own quarry is overcharging him for it.
Well, you have a point. I'll take that into account in the price.
No, that's still too much.
But I can't sell my stone any cheaper. I wouldn't be able to pay my men. If you won't accept the price, we're done. Take care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greetings. What do you need?
I'd like to enroll in the big tournament.
You've come too late, lad. We're all full up. Better look next time.
Good luck then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could do with a bite to eat. Could do with a bite to eat.
Ledetchko než dívat.
God be with you, Henry. God be with you, lad. What can I do for you?
I delivered the things as you asked.
I already know. My spies told me everything. She was wearing the necklace this morning, as I asked in the letter.
So you'll go to the rendezvous with her?
Certainly not. I'm not going to pounce on her like a bull in rutting season. Her feelings must be allowed to mature gradually. Meanwhile, you'll get a potion for me.
I thought you didn't believe in witches' brews.
This is no witch's brew. It's an absolutely tried and tested elixir called Musk of Infinite Allure. There's a fellow in Sasau who sells it, and he guarantees its success.
Musk of Infinite Allure? Sounds irresistible. All right, I'll try and get it for you.
I'm sure I can rely on you. Here's some coin for your costs.
See you later.
Good health to you.
What kind of governor is Sir Hanish?
Young Sir Hans is our governor, but Sir Hanish is his guardian till he comes of age. That's not a day I'm looking forward to. God be with you.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
by later.
Good day.
Take care.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
What do you need? God be with you.
God save you, good night. May the Lord watch over you.
Look here, Kurnesh. I can't watch you wasting away here anymore. How would you like a job?
Working for you? Where?
In Pribyslavitz. We're rebuilding the whole settlement. You could maybe work there as a woodcutter.
Oh, I could cut wood. But what's it worth to you?
I offer you a job, and you start giving me lip again.
Oh, don't start on me again, for the love of God. All right, I'll work for you, if you'll just leave me be. I've had enough of getting my arse kicked.
Yeah.
Salt sprinkled with the bloody tears of St. James Madonna.
Hey.
Well, well, who have we here?
Ah, the prodigal son returns. I knew you'd come back to me one day.
Let me guess, you saw it in a dream?
I knew you were going to say that.
I had a dream of my own.
You too? So you learned something from me after all?
Yeah, it was just when I was getting pummeled by a mob of very irate villagers.
That unfortunate misunderstanding. What can you do?
Misunderstanding, yeah. I tried to explain that to them, but they were too busy kicking my arse to listen. I've heard you know of some irresistibility potion or whatever it is.
Naturally! Musk of infinite allure! An age-old recipe, maybe even older. Tested by Moses himself.
Moses?
How do you think he managed to get his people to follow him through the desert for 40 years? It's extremely potent.
Yeah, so it would seem. How much do you want for it?
Who do you take me for? The wisdom of the ancients isn't something that's bought and sold in the marketplace. Did Jesus charge for his miracles? But since you ask, how about this much?
What? That much? You're a crook.
As King Solomon said, honesty is for those who can afford it. If you like, I can mix the elixir for you in exchange for a small favor.
Oh, not again.
Now, is that any tone to use with your master? For shame.
Apologies, master. I was carried away by my thirst for knowledge.
I understand your impatience, but the way to wisdom is narrow and arduous.
And leads out the window. So what is it you want from me now?
My dear apprentice, everything's gone to the devil. I'm living from hand to mouth, sleeping on straw, and the local peasants won't buy from me. They say they don't trust me, as if I was some kind of charlatan. Can you believe it? Does this look to you like the face of a swindler? I'm an honest trader in sacred goods, whose only concern is the welfare of troubled souls.
A regular good Samaritan.
And any time now the slanderous gossip will spread here from Sasau. I should leave before things get worse. But I can't go anywhere until I've made a bit of coin. So what's needed is to give the locals a bit of encouragement, to open their hearts and purses.
Sure. Kick him onto the path of righteousness.
What do you take me for? I wouldn't hurt a fly. Violence is for the dull-witted. We must gently demonstrate to them the necessity of buying my remedies. For example, to ward off a revenant.
Revenant? What revenant?
The dead, returned from the grave. A corpse that the soul is unable to depart from, which wanders among the living, filled with rage at its wretched fate.
Yeah, I saw something like that once. But it was just some drunk going home from the tavern after losing all his money at dice.
Don't make light of such things. Now tell me, do you know how to deal with a revenant?
Chop its head off and sprinkle holy water on it?
That is the traditional way of dealing with such supernatural manifestations. You are my trained apprentice, but the ignorant villager is entirely at a loss how to deal with such dark forces. It is our sacred duty to prepare them for such threats.
And how do you propose to do that?
Well, they're all doubting Thomases. They need proof. We'll need a grave, an empty grave that we can use. There's one along the way to Sasau, but it's got one minor shortcoming.
What's that?
Well, it's not entirely empty.
Not entirely? What does that mean?
You have to dig it up first.
I'll need a spade then.
Yes, dig it up and remove the remains, leaving no trace.
And what am I to do with the remains?
Keep them. Human remains are always handy to have around.
Great. And how do we spread the word of this Revenant?
There's a gossip in every village. Here, too, a woman who'll spread news quicker than a dozen messengers on the fastest steeds.
And what am I to tell this gossip?
All you have to do is casually mention the empty grave, and before evening, I'll wager the whole village will know about it.
Where does this woman live?
The last house on the left, on the road to Sasau. She was the first person I met here, and by the time I reached the village green, I already had a mob looking suspiciously at me. The rumor-mongering fishwife.
And that's all?
Not quite. You should ask her who was buried there. So we've got a story to work with.
So, dig up the grave, talk to the gossip.
And the remains. Don't forget to remove them. Otherwise, no one will believe in the Revenant.
I might have known any task for Capon would turn into some insane escapade. Grave robbing. Jesus.
I'm glad to see you. Bye. Wine squeezed
Yeah.
grape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I never.
Had enough?
Yeah, you got me. Come now. We don't have to get all worked up on account of a scrap of cloth, do we?
No excuses. Hand it over.
Here.
You got the thrashing you deserved. I hope you've learned your lesson.
Yes, sir. You really let him go? And did you get the...
I did. I have it here.
Thank you. A thieving magpie. You can't trust anyone these days. And just so you know, I'm no pinch purse. Here's a small reward.
Thanks. God be with you, good wife. Has something happened here?
Heavens no. It's quiet here, unlike some other places.
And what about that empty grave?
What empty grave would that be now?
The one beyond the village, alongside the road to Sasau. Just by the river, on the Pine Headland.
How would you know it's empty, unless it was dug up?
Oh, it's dug up, all right. Freshly. And empty. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Lord in heaven, what in the name of...
How come it's not in hallowed ground, anyway? Only unrepentant sinners are buried like that. Usually.
I don't like to say. It's an old wound that's best forgotten.
Whose grave is it?
Well, once a long time ago there was a young charcoal burner living here with his wife. There was always a lot of charcoal burners here, but this fellow worked alone. That's not an easy job for one man.
No one wanted to work with him, or what?
Ah, he was a hard-headed fellow who always wanted to take care of his family himself.
Well, only then you've no one to blame but yourself if you end up alone.
His wife was expecting, though no one knew it yet. And he wasn't doing well at all. Soon enough they had nothing to eat. And so he took to thieving.
Well, thieving is wrong.
Aye, but when there's a child on the way and your wife hasn't the strength to get out of bed for the hunger, well, you ought to think differently.
And did he get caught?
Well, at first it was just a few eggs going missing from people's hen coops. But then it was anything that wasn't nailed down. And in the end, they caught him.
And I suppose he was harshly punished for it.
Even then he didn't let on why he was doing it. They whipped the skin off his back and banished him from Ledetchko.
So justice was done then?
It wasn't enough for some folk. When the butcher found out he'd never get any compensation, he wanted them to chop off the charcoal burner's hands. If the bailiff hadn't talked sense into him, he'd have done it himself with his cleaver.
Well, he got off lightly enough then.
And in the end, he got what was coming to him, and more.
The butcher caught up with him?
No. It was the mills of God turning slowly but surely. His wife bled to death in childbirth, and the child died with her.
God have mercy on their souls.
Amen.
Nothing could have been done to save them.
There was no one there. He had no one who would care for his wife. They say on that day he parted ways with God forever, and he turned his back on the village too. I reckon he never forgave himself, nor us either.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways. But how did he end up?
Don't ask me that, lad. I beg you.
Come now, good wife. You can't leave the story unfinished.
I said no. Will you let it lie?
Yeah.
Rare merchandise from all over the world. The relics of saints from Italy. Altar...
I know who was buried in that grave. A young charcoal burner.
So begins the tragic tale of the young charcoal burner who became entangled with the devil himself.
Oh, don't start. What devil? I'm trying to tell you. Ugh. He was from Ledetchko. He was trying to eke out a living for himself and his wife, but he couldn't manage. When she fell pregnant, he took to stealing.
Pride drove him from the straight and narrow path, and soon he sold his soul to the devil to fill his stomach.
They caught him and punished him, but some of the people he'd robbed didn't think it was enough. Then when his wife died in childbirth, and the child too, he blamed everyone for it. Even God, apparently.
But when the time came to pay his debt to hell, the devil had no use for his soul, and took his wife and child instead. The charcoal burner cursed God, who struck him down in righteous vengeance. But the dead man's soul never left his body. He came back as a revenant to vent his rage at God and men and take vengeance on the living.
Jesus, did you listen to what I said at all?
Sorry, did you say something?
Oh, never mind. What do you want me to do with it?
Well, the question is, what would the Revenant do to get revenge on the villagers? Well, apprentice?
What about his wife and child? No doubt he'd want to avenge their death.
Well, how did they die?
In childbirth.
And when his love turned to rage, the water turned to blood. Nothing too original, but it's tried and tested. If you do it at the baths, everyone will hear of it.
How am I supposed to do that? It might be a bit suspicious if I'm seen walking around with a pail of blood.
No problem. There's a certain potion that will do the trick easily.
He was stealing food from people, right? So, supposing he started again.
We should steal from people? Disgraceful. Have you no shame?
Maybe just a few eggs from hen coops, like the gossip mentioned.
Well, that wouldn't be too serious a sin. Will they put it down to the Revenant, though?
They would, if I put some charcoal there instead.
And their nourishment he turned into ash.
The gossip mentioned the butcher. It seems he was infuriated that the charcoal burner's punishment was too lenient.
And the Revenant spoiled their meat with his malign touch.
How's that?
Spoiled meat is a classic example of a Revenant's power.
I thought it was the work of bad butchers.
That too, sometimes.
So, I should switch the good meat for bad at the butcher's.
But make sure it's the same kind of meat. Not even a Revenant will turn a cow into a chicken.
He cursed God. That's very serious.
What is it that most brings God to mind?
They don't have a church there. But everyone will have a rosary. I can't think of anything else.
That's it! If folks start losing their rosaries, they'll have sleepless nights over it.
You want me to steal rosaries? But that's...
Or just exchange them.
For what?
For nothing.
Great.
So, switch eggs for charcoal, switch the meat, color the water in the baths, and switch the rosaries. That ought to do it. I hope so. Of course, if you come up with anything else, don't let me hold you back. Talking to people might give you ideas. Traders, the bailiff.
What if someone sees me in the act?
They mustn't. Otherwise, it'll end up like Sasau all over again. Don't draw attention to yourself, or they'll put two and two together.
Sure. I'll keep my head down. And how would I know if I've succeeded? I doubt it'll be announced on the market square.
I'll be the first to know. They'll come running to me for a remedy, like hens at feeding time. Off you go and raise hell.
But whatever he did, don't you think he deserves some peace?
Dear Henry, after all the poor wretch went through, I'd say he's beyond any peace.
Well, he certainly won't have any as long as I'm carrying his bones around with me.
Ah, but you know who those remains could help?
Help? Who? How?
Me, of course. And I'd pay you a nice price for a Revenant's bones.
But there is no Revenant.
Not yet. What do you say?
All right, I'll sell them to you.
Splendid.
Is this enough?
It's not worth it to me. Revenant bones. They'll be God be with you.
Mother of God! You look like you've been assaulted. God bless.
Good day to you.
Take care now.
Chickens. That should be no problem.
God be with you.
Farewell.
Are you looking for someone?
Hey, what are you doing here? Clear off quick or I'll throw you out.
What?
Rare spices and tinctures, magical elixirs and amulets, miraculous ointments, remarkable remedies.
What's the recipe for that potion you were talking about?
You mean for coloring the water? Ah, well...
Well?
Pay close attention now.
I'm all ears.
How love turned to bloodshed. Once there was a knight who, though upright and noble-looking, had a prickly, unapproachable appearance. He fell in love with a fragile young maid, whom he saw with her sisters in a field, all wearing bright red wimples. But he was afraid his prickly exterior would frighten her. So he asked the advice of another knight, a pious and learned crusader, who carried the name of the patron saint of his order with pride. The pious knight told him he would arrange a rendezvous with the maid. All three would drink wine together by the river, and he would help his friend to get acquainted with her. This they did, but the maid fell in love instead with the pious knight. The stern knight was enraged and challenged his rival to a duel. The two fought long and fiercely, but they were equally matched. And so, in the end, they both fell mortally wounded. Anguished at the tragedy her beauty had caused, the young maid took a dagger from one of the knights and plunged it into her own heart. Their bodies lay together on the ground, and the blood flowed from them into the river, turning the waters crimson.
I thought you were going to tell me the recipe, not some fable.
It is the recipe. I mean, the recipe is concealed in the story.
What on earth for?
So I don't forget it.
All right. So what does it mean?
I can't remember.
Great. So if you don't know, who does?
You'll figure it out, my loyal apprentice. I remember there are 3 plants in the story, but that's about all. But I know it was a simple recipe. It should be enough to grind the ingredients and brew them together for one turn. So, all you have to do is work out what the ingredients are from the story.
Sure. Why make things simple if you can complicate them? Would you teach me?
Certainly.
I'd like to...
First you...
Well. Will you teach me?
Certainly.
I'm interested...
Wouldn't you...
Well.
Take care. Huh? Mother. Back trouble.
Is someone there? What's the...
Lamb. And I'll need lots of it. Lamb. And I'll need lamb. And I'll need lots of it if I'm to switch it all. Hang on, this is venison. From roe deer. No wonder it's under lock and key.
Yeah.
I could do with a bite to eat.
Yeah.
My humble greetings. How may I help you? May the Lord watch over you.